What's good? Another week, another episode, and I'm so ecstatic to be here. To my new followers, old followers, I say thank you so much for joining me on this journey, and I'm very, very grateful for your presence and for your support. On this particular episode, I have a very special guest, but before I get into it, I would like to say thank you to our venue host once again, as always, Cafe Wani, for granting us, according us the time to do what we're doing. Very grateful and very thankful. And today's episode is a bit it's not tricky, but I think it's a topic that most people aren't really comfortable talking about. But today, with the guest that I have, we'll be diving into it. And yeah, let's begin this journey. Get into it. As you can see, I am not alone. What's good? I have a very special guest with me today. His name is Harry. He is a friend of mine and we met in 2001. Before I proceed, please allow me to let him introduce himself before... Yeah, Harry, what's good?
What's good?
Please, Mark and BC side, guys, so...
Yeah, we understand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay, you're good?
I'm good.
All right, so Tuesday, please. Who is Harry? What is Harry about? Yeah, please.
Harry, HO3, artist. Harry Ntazana Simbea.
Government names.
Yeah, government names. Just a regular guy. Studied banking and finance. Songwriter. Singer. I like to think sometimes I'm a rapper, but that's not really my thing. But
I think I've heard you rap.
Majorly, I'm a writer.
Okay. Yeah. Nice. Okay. And just to top up on what he said, guys, he's got a nice voice. He's got an amazing voice, and I'm not just trying to sugar him up because he's my friend. And he's got a very, 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 very nice voice.
Oh.
How many times have you heard that? A lot of times, I know.
Yeah.
A lot of times. All right. So, Harry, you are born and raised in Mufulira?
Born and raised in Mufulira. Schooled in Mufulira from primary school up to secondary school. I was at Mufulira Primary School.
Okay, nice.
From grade 1 up to grade 7. Then from grade 8 up to grade 12, I was at MCM Mufulira Secondary School.
Okay.
A school used to be owned by Mopani. I don't know if it's still owned by Mopani, but yeah.
Mopani Copper Mines.
Mopani Copper Mines,
okay.
Yes. And then I went to uni. I went to the Copperbelt University. That's where I pursued my banking and finance school of business. It was very interesting.
Is it?
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Nice. Cool. I mean, anyway, university, we all have stories
about.
That's for another episode.
We don't want to
we all have stories. You look like you're just like a playboy, left, right, and center. Anyway. Anywho. Okay, so today's episode, I know it's deep for you, it's deep for me to some extent, and yeah, I want us to, I think there's some time, wait, let me just take us back a little bit. Me and Harry met in 2001, right? I think I used to
2021.
I used to see Harry around town. I used to see you around, but I never knew you. Then when we had the Beyond Words poetry show, he was coming in as an artist. I was one of the people that were organizing the event, and I was also doing some poetry, sometimes spoken word here and there. Yeah, boza. But yeah, so we met, and it was like, oh, okay, vibes clicked, and shared some stories here and there. And I remember I had a conversation. It should have been here actually. Was it a Sunday or something? We said it outside there. And we're like, oh, there's this conversation, there's this story, and we're like, this needs to be put on a pod. Ooh. And here we are. Yeah,
how many years later?
2.
Yeah.
2. Here we are. So this particular topic, for the longest time, I think I wasn't comfortable talking about this ordeal, but we're getting into it today. You know, in case there's somebody out there who's going through this, somebody out there who's gone through this and doesn't know how to navigate life, doesn't know how to like deal with whatever happened to you. I hope you can pick one or two things from what we're going to be talking about today, how we pick from our experiences. So, Harry, sexual abuse.
Yeah.
What forms of sexual abuse do you know? I don't know a lot. There are a lot, but yeah, what forms of sexual abuse do you know?
I think there's people that are intimately involved, where sometimes someone will consent even though they're intimately involved, but kula feeling umo
Not in the mood.
the other person just forces themselves on their loved ones.
And you know, on that one, people don't actually understand that it's actually a form of sexual abuse.
Exactly.
People will just say, because I'm your partner, we're in a relationship, please, whenever I want, give it to me, open or whatever, and when you try to stress the point, say, okay, I'm not in the mood, I don't want, and this, if you force it, it's not, and people don't get that. That's actually a form.
The thing.
It is actually a form of sexual abuse.
It
yes.
is.
Please proceed.
And then there's something that I experienced, which is incest. Something that people usually don't talk about, especially from a guy's perspective.
Yes.
When someone has been sexually abused by their family member. I think these are the two that I really know about.
Okay. There's child sexual abuse.
Oh yes.
And
yeah. If we're getting into that, there's someone can be abused as an adult,
and then
child. Someone can be abused as a child sexually.
Yeah.
Both boy and girl child.
Yeah, and so the one that you went through was incest.
Yes.
All right, and the one I went through was rape. Yeah, pretty much. So these are some of
heavy.
I know. I know, but these are some we haven't touched on everything, but some of the types and forms of sexual abuse that exist out there. And we'll be getting into our experiences. So we're going to get into a segment that I'm introducing on this episode called Story Time. Okay, so with this one, you will get to share your experience, you get to share what happened to you, and I will also get to share what happened to me, and from there I will dissect, each experience as we go. So the floor is yours.
Okay, so I vividly remember because it was a jubilee year, I think 2000, crossing over from 1999 as a boy, of course. I was a youngin. So crossing over into the jubilee year 2000. You know how we Zambians are when it comes to celebrating things.
Yeah.
Especially Yama crossover.
Yes.
So it was a very exciting moment for a lot of people. Sadly, not for me. So people went out screaming, shouting. There was a lot of fireworks.
Yeah.
So even my parents went out. So I was left alone with a relative who was staying with at that point, who was my aunt. So she played something that I had never seen before. I'm a deck. So wavika muni by then there were no DVDs or VCDs. But my tape video.
Yeah, those my big ones. Yes.
So so I thought we were going to start watching like a regular movie. You know what I mean? It was a pornographic video.
Yo.
And as a child, you're seeing things that are very foreign to you. People naked, doing things. And I didn't understand why she was making me watch those things. It was quite disturbing. Then that very night, I think she started making advances because to share the favor video and the parents are out. So that was the beginning of everything. That was the beginning of the abuse, the sexual abuse. So she was trying to replicate what was being shown in that video with me.
Yeah.
Now imagine you're younging, barely, I think I was in grade, I was like 5, 6. I was, 5, 6.
Years old, eh?
Yeah, 5, 6 years old. So yeah, that the experience started there, and it was very painful. It was very painful. It was shocking to me. I didn't know how to respond to that. I didn't know what to do about that because it was foreign.
Yeah.
So I was left confused. So that night passed. We went into the new year 2000, and it continued like that because most of the time kabidi akanga ndiko twalekalamu kali at sitting room, kitchen, bedroom. So but every night udela loku kuli band, and so almost every night she would try to do the things that was in that video that she showed me. So it became very, very disturbing, and at that point I didn't know what to do. If I should have spoken to my parents about it, but here's the thing: the more she did those things, it became how can I put this? Filiabalana reflex action.
Yeah.
You go to play, you come back, this is gonna happen. So somehow it's like you are starting to give in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's coming either way, whether I like
it or not, it's coming.
Yeah.
So I became very distant with a lot of people. I became very distant with my friends. So the only thing that would really keep me busy was playing soccer, of course. I started doing a lot of random things, going to play soccer, joined martial arts, na volleyball, no interest whatsoever. But because I want to keep myself busy and forget the thing I'm going to experience, Obushku. So I'd try as much as possible to keep myself busy during the day, such that I started becoming a problem. Bit by bit, I started becoming a problem. Fast forward, naisako mukishita visit Bashkuru, right around here in Muflera. I would stay there for some time. You go to Bashkuru shan, and so you find that most of my grandchildren wakumana kuri Bashkuru vidavine.
Yeah.
But then the thing that I ran away from Kunganda, I find it where I go.
What age range are we looking at now?
Still the same age range, but padanish nambo kumanya ko 7, 8, 9. But so one was my cousin, the other was my aunt, though she was a bit younger than the first aunt.
Yeah.
But they were older than me. So they also started doing those things to me.
Yo.
And for me, I didn't expect that, because for them maybe it was just all fun, but because of the prior experience,
more trauma.
So there was more trauma for me, and it was very painful all the time. Very, very, very painful. And I would try to complain to them, but they would still continue doing the same thing. I go back home, I find the same thing. When you go to visit grandpa, experiencing the same thing. So it was very terrible.
I can't even imagine.
So my character started changing. I had a shell.
Yeah.
So I started becoming an introvert. Sometimes I would try to be an extrovert, be all over the place, be out there, socialize with my friends, but it eventually started getting to me, started choking me. I started hating women in general, girls, anything to do with a woman. or with a girl, I hated it, because in my head now I started thinking, oh, okay, so every girl is like this, every woman is like this.
Yeah.
So then what's the point?
Yeah.
You know. So by the time I was getting into junior secondary, I had this hatred for females. It was bad. It was so bad that even just interacting with people that were genuine became very difficult for me.
Yeah.
Because all I wanted now was, how am I going to revenge?
Hurt
You know?
every
Yeah,
single
how am I
person
going to
the way-
hurt
Yeah.
this species? You know, that's the only thing that
To
would
try and
play
feel
in my
better.
mind. You know, and believe you me, there was a point I started thinking of abusing other people as well sexually, but because of the Christian background that was there, a few interactions I had with other people, quite a idea about it, and that you know, if you're Satana,
Yeah.
you know, so that term actually still stuck in my head. So first of all, in my head I was like, so inenkaya pia. You know what I mean? So I had that in mind, like, so inenkaya pia nshitevya kwa Satana.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then it was eating me up, but I was still thinking of ways of revenging. So I would be like, what am I going to do about this? So eventually this girl came around, and I genuinely fell for that girl, you know. But because of that trauma, I started projecting everything on her unknowingly.
That happens.
So all that hurt,
yeah.
all that trauma, all that depression, I started now just projecting
Projecting
it
it
on
on
her.
her.
Using her as a rebound.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I was not abusing her sexually, I was abusing her emotionally. So I would play with her mind, such that she got frustrated, and I think it became worse when she broke up with me, after she started seeing another guy, an older guy. So I was like, okay, this is a confirmation. I wanna catch what Chavi. I wanna catch what Chavi. I am going to deal with you.
Oh,
I am going to
wow.
deal with you.
Wow.
So I was still stuck on revenging, especially after that first breakup.
Yeah.
But I was still, I was still holding back not to abuse them sexually,
Yeah.
because that was eating me up. I was like, okay, I'm not going to do this, but I'm going to do something else. So I became a playboy. Yeah, I became a playboy, but not a playboy that would have any sexual relations. I would just toy with girls' emotions. So what I would do is that I would target people that know each other.
I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
And
So I would target people that know each other. If I'm going to be with you, I'm also going for your best friend.
yo.
If I'm going to go for you, I'm also going for your sister.
Yo.
So that's the rampage I went on
Yo.
for quite a while.
Wow.
And then what made it worse was that I had friends that were crazy, so much that we started competing. Who is going to have the most girls by the end of the year?
Not knowing that you're subconsciously
Yeah,
doing that because of what
exactly.
you.
So for me, it
What you
was
went through.
like,
Yeah.
okay, this is easy for me because I'm already on that run.
Yeah.
So I started doing that unknowingly.
Wow.
Yeah. But then during that same period, I was introduced to the world of music and so on. But the kind of music I was introduced to then was not so. At some point, every one of us wanted to be a gangster. I don't know why being gangster felt so cool.
Yeah.
You would write or rap about things that you don't even have.
Things you're not
Brag
experienced.
about things
Yeah.
because we're listening to these rappers that talk about these things. So for me, it was cool. Like, okay, let me also talk about these things. And I don't know what it is with girls, majority anyway.
Let's hear
Okay,
it.
maybe some.
Let's hear it.
It's like some girls get attracted to a guy who
A
is
bad boy.
seemingly, yes, a bad boy, and who is full of confidence, who is just out there. So
Telling you
that
what to
became
do.
exactly. So that became an advantage for me.
Yeah.
I'm now in this world of music.
Getting this bad boy persona.
Yeah, bad boy persona. I'm a cool dancer, but then I was. Yeah. So
Okay.
it became very easy for me. So a lot of girls became easy targets without them knowing.
So it was
Yeah.
easy for you to go on the rampage.
Exactly.
Okay, that was a wild experience though.
It was wild. It was
Wow, I can't
wild.
imagine being in the house and knowing that there's somebody just waiting for time to
Yeah.
do whatever they want to do with me and not knowing how this is going to affect me even as I. Yeah.
It was so bad that I became used to it. Where actually you're looking forward to it.
Yeah.
It became, I don't know.
Because you're a
what-
child
Yes.
anyway. You're a child.
So there were times when I would actually want to see her naked.
Yo.
It was terrible.
Yeah.
It started toying with my mind. So it was really, really, really bad.
And at a
And the-
very young age.
Yeah.
Tender age. I think my experience I wasn't that young.
Yeah.
I think I was actually in college. I was in my second year. Yeah, I was in my second year of college, Evelyn Horn College. And I'll run through this as quick as I can. There's this guy I liked, okay? And so in the evenings, you go to class, you go to study, then from studying, you go back. It's college. It's not high school where you've got people like manning every move you make and,
You're free.
are you going to study? Or from
Yeah.
studying, are you going straight to the room and you get? So this guy I like I really liked him. And I knew that the feelings were not 100% mutual. Like maybe he was just hanging around me or just like leading me on.
I see.
Yeah, it was that kind of thing. So I think he knew to say, okay, she likes me, and so I'm just going to use her. This is what I think. This is what I thought. Yeah, could not have been, but this is what I was seeing, okay, and what I deduced from the whole situation because I really, really liked him. So one time went to study, okay. After studying, it's like, oh, okay, let's walk out together, okay. So walk out together. So I don't know if the park is still there at Horn, but there was a park where it's an open place. It's open. Some hostels are this side.
Oh, yeah.
The main gate is this side. Like the guards are there and everything and stuff like that. Yeah. So it's like, oh, okay. We're having conversation. It's going good and whatnot. Let's go sit in the park. It was late. It was in the evening. I think that was like past midnight, if I'm not mistaken. It should have been past midnight. Okay. So we got the park. We're seated. Good conversation. I'm feeling the guy. I like the
Yeah.
guy. He's feeling me too. I think he's
Yeah.
feeling me. So we're in that moment. We're talking, and I think we just got so carried away because the conversation was like giving. I personally got carried away. This guy I'm seeing, I like him. He's here. We're talking. And
Drowning and
yeah,
feeling.
he says this, laugh, even if it's not
Yeah.
funny. And so as we were seated, this man from nowhere, and it was that late, so there weren't people moving about. People were either in the hostels or studying. Okay, so this man comes. Right where we're seated, this man just appears. So we're like, okay, what's
Yeah.
cutting? No. Why are you students? Are you students? Are you even students here? We're like, yeah, we're students, but from studying.
Yeah.
I literally had my books with me. I'm like, I have my books. I'm from studying. He left his books because he was pushing me, and then he was going to go back and continue studying. So I'm like, I have my books with me. We're from studying and whatnot. Where you people are the ones who challenge the name of Evelyn Horn. Maybe you're from Zikas because Zikas and Nipa,
Just
yes,
right next door.
neighbors. So maybe you're from Zikas, and maybe you're from Nipa, and you're trying to tarnish the name of Evelyn Horn by being why male, female in the park, mweka, shan. So I'm like, I have my books. We're just here. I'm like, what's going on? So I tried to be a bit rude, like, boss, we're in campus, we're studying. There's books, there's Shadi.
Yeah.
I'm a police officer, in fact, and Central Police is right next to Evelyn Horn College. Okay, so this man goes, I'm a police officer. Let's go to the police. So it's like, what have we done for you to want to take us to the police station?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like now we're asking these questions, so now he was feeling, I think, a bit attacked by the questions, and yeah. So we stand up, we're walking towards the roadside from the park. No, this behavior, ABC, I'm a police officer, because what behavior is this? Okay, where are your IDs? I'm like, I'm in my school. I'm going to study. I'm going back to my room. Why am I
Should I
going to be
carry
moving
my
around with
ID
my ID?
all the
Yeah.
time?
I move around with it, yes, but like, why should it be all the time? I left it today. I don't have it. He has his, and he did have his. It was back in class.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
like, I have my ID. It's in class. Okay, no. He behavior. I just know you're not from this school and whatnot. So we're like, what's going on? Then he starts raising his voice. Then what does he pull out from his pocket? I don't know if it's the pocket. I don't know if it's the bag. A whole gun.
Wow.
So now in that moment, I'm like, a gun.
No.
I'm like, a gun. So now we get into pleading mode. Boss, okay, well, sorry. Let him go back to class. Let me go to the hostels.
Yeah.
You can go if you're patrolling or whatever. Well, sorry, came in your way, but we're simply just sitting there talking and whatnot, nothing. And there's a whole big chima light that was like sneaking from the roadside to like where we're seated. Like anyone who was walking could literally see that there are people sitting. Yeah. That's how open it was. No, in fact, I need to see your IDs. In fact, so in that moment, you know, I think I got into quite about no, I was about to say fight or flight, but no, it doesn't apply here. I think I got into a state of now, I got scared.
Yeah.
In my mind, I'm like, my mom is at home, okay? If this man is saying he's a police officer, and he's going to remove the gun, so to me, him removing the gun was confirmation. It's like, there are guards by the gate.
Yeah.
Nobody just enters. And if he's here with the gun and everything, he's probably a policeman. And he's got a gun and everything. Central is just paneba. I got to the police station, my mother comes and I should be studying. What are you doing? Why were you sitting in the park? Like, I'm like, guys, I have a single mom. I cannot put her through this burden. So now pleading mode went to 100. Okay, I was crying. Oh no, please, Shani. Okay, no, you go and get your ID. That's the biggest mistake that was made that night. Go and get your ID from class. You'll find her here with me.
Yo.
So in that moment, it's like, okay, we're waiting for him. He's going to go get his ID. He's going to come back. Okay? So this man, and right near the park was the clinic, the college clinic. Yeah, so cars could park and whatnot. Yeah. So in that moment, it didn't hit me to say, do I scream? If I scream for help, if he's truly a police officer, I'll make things worse for myself.
Yeah.
If I scream and alarm the situation, I'll make things worse for myself. If I make any moment, I do not know what, I was just in a state now of confusion. I'm just like, okay, he's going to get his ID. We're waiting for the ID. We stand there. He gets his phone. And now looking back, it's like, that was just a ruse, man. That was just a whole lie. Okay. You've gotten the guys from NIPA? How many do you have? You have 4? Okay, I have 2 here, but no one's going to get the ID. So, okay, let me do this. Then I'll come back. Okay, get in the car. I'm like, huh? Get in the car. I'm like, and we're waiting for him to get, no, we're going to come back just now. Get in the car. Tell him we're going to just call him right now. Tell him we're going to get people from NIPA there. Then ABC. I'm like, let's just wait 5 more minutes. Are you? So now he gets, I'm like, gun. Are you playing with, in my head now? I'm like, whoo. Tears. I just went with to my books, sat, got my phone. I'm like, we're going to pick people from NIPA apparently. Then we'll come back for you. So we'll find you either by the clinic or Baguette.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. But why are you tell him to wait? So even he was like, tell him to wait and whatnot. I'm like, no, we're going to get them. No, coming back. Okay, we left. And this is why, now looking back now, it was a whole ruse. Because we left, he simply just, I don't know if it was waved, the guards that were standing, I don't know if it was a wave or whatever, because sometimes if people want to go out of school, sometimes the guards, okay, they'll leave you, you're adults. Yeah. They'll leave you, let you be whatever, you're coming back at an awkward hour, maybe they'll question you and whatnot. Us stepping out or going out, there was no, it's a weekday, what's going on, ABC, it was just, wave and pass, okay? So he drives out. He turns, heading the NIPA way. So in my mind, I'm like, I'm really going to Central Police Station. Because he's really going to NIPA to pick whoever up. We come back, pick this guy up, and we go to the police. I was there pleading, sir, please, crying my lungs out. We're in this road. Church Road, I don't know what that adjoining road is. Muhon Mudia. He doesn't go to NIPA. He turns to his left. There was some like flats or whatever. And then there was a close somewhere. Not so far. I used to use that route sometimes when I'm going to school from home. I use this route sometimes. I used to see the clothes and whatnot. So he turns in that clothes and dress. I'm like, sir, and
what's happening?
That gun, Lord Jesus,
Joe,
Lord Jesus. And dress in the moment, I'm terrified. I don't know what this man is going to do to me. You hear about these deaths on TV, on the news, on social media, and I'm like, am I the next person they're going to find lifeless laying on the grass here? Or if I don't abide, will that happen? If I abide, will it not happen? You get? So now I'm like, I don't know. He comes over, gun still in the hand, with the other hand now, comes over, puts the chair down. He was literally doing everything. I was in a state of shock. All I could do was cry and say, sir, please. That's all I could do. Sir, please. Sir, please. But he had the decency of having condoms in the car. So he got a condom, wore the condom, and he had his way with me. Okay? And so, even as he was doing that, disgustingly lick my ear, try to kiss my mouth. I'll move because I'm crying now. I'm moving.
Yeah.
But then he'll go back the ear, and he had his way with me. Okay? Dress up. I'm like, I'm crying. I'm still in this state of shock. I'm like, why is this happening to me? What's happening? I dress up with my books. I'm holding my books. He starts driving. Right by the roadside. Get out. Huh. Get out. I'm there getting on. He just threw the books out. And he drove off.
Wow.
And he drove off just like that. Picked up my books, and I was crying the entire road. I didn't care whether it was 23, didn't care if it was 01. I was crying. Walking back to school, the guards are there, no question. So now looking back, it's like, did they have an agreement? Did they have a hand? Is this something that they do in the night to say, let's pick up? Yeah. So now I find this guy that's going to get his ID. He calls me, where are you, ABC? Where are you? I'm just there crying. I'm bawling my eyes out. Where are you? I'm like, I'm entering the gate. I entered the gate. I was literally crying. He just came, embraced me. Oh, no, stop crying. Instantly, stop crying. How am I going to stop crying? How? Stop crying.
What just happened?
You don't know what has just happened to me right now. How am I going to stop crying? I was just there crying. We're entering the gate. The guards couldn't be bothered. We just entered. Okay, now go sleep. ABCD, yada, yada. Tomorrow class, yada, yada.
He couldn't even ask why you're crying, what happened, where did you go, just...
Anyway, I think in that moment, I couldn't even put anything into words because I was in shock. Yeah. So I remember I went back to my room, the hostels, went to the room. The shower I took, man. I scrubbed. I done scrubbed my body like crazy. Everywhere, every opening, I cried. I went to sleep crying. Woke up the next day, I couldn't even go to class. I couldn't. I failed.
Yeah, you can't.
Okay? I OG failed. And as time went on, I think I told my best friend about it. And she's like, oh, yo, therapy. And I'm like, I hear you. I hear you, my guy. I hear you. I really, really hear you. But then in that moment, it's like I don't feel safe enough to sit with somebody that I don't know and talk about this, what just happened to me, because even I'm still kind of processing and trying to digest and accept what has happened to me. Yeah. So I'm like, anyway, talking to you is good enough. I'm letting it out. It's going to get easier with time and whatnot. So every time I talk about it, this is how I know I'm actually okay now, because I'll tear up every time I talk about it. Try to address it, I'll cry. I think I've only told about 4 or 5 people in my life over about that whole ordeal. Yeah. Talk about it, break down crying hysterically. And now it's like, I'm past that, healed, and it is what it is.
Yo,
yeah.
It is what it is.
But in the moment, it's like, why me? Why me?
Those questions.
You know, why am I the one that's going through this? You know, why should I have to go through this? And for me, it's like, life is hard enough already. I don't have a dad. I just have at the time, I just had my mom. And it's like, why? I've experienced loss, okay? I've grieved and whatnot. Then rape. Why? Why?
And you know, it's something that you just see in movies, documentaries,
social media.
So you never expect that it would happen to you.
And I was really distraught. I was like, I don't know. And for the longest time, I think the dissociation on my part, for me, it was more of pretense, trying to pretend that it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Trying so hard to pretend it did happen, but mentally it was killing me. But outwardly, I'll be around people. Hey, oh, hello. But inside, I'm like, I'm not okay. I'm really not fine. Okay? And just trying to not seem like a bother. You know, certain topics, some people think maybe you want attention.
Yes, true.
You just want to put this out there because, why? You
You
know,
want
so you keep it to your,
sympathy.
sympathy, like, okay, yeah, you got raped, and then now we do, especially if it's past and people don't understand that the trauma still goes with you.
True.
It lives with you. There's certain things that will trigger you along the way, and it takes you back to whatever happened.
And you know, I think in the, I don't know if it's the entire Africa or generally just the Zambian setup, it's very difficult to have conversations like that because now they'll start the blame game.
Yes. Why did you, especially in my case, because there's somebody who was a friend then who asked me a question like, okay, but why didn't you scream?
You know,
So I'm like, in that moment, right now, I hear you, yeah, you're saying, why didn't you scream? Because after he left, that's when I realized to say, okay, he probably wasn't even a cop. But in the moment, there's a gun to my head.
Exactly.
Somebody's screaming at me, over me. I'm a small, pinini girl. There's this huge man standing over me telling me he's a police officer, and the central police is right there. I'm thinking about my mother, who has to think about her daughter being in police custody because of being in a park with a guy, instead of her studying and focusing on her studies. All those things were going through my mind. Yeah. All those things were going through my mind. And so it's like, in that moment, I didn't think about whatever it is you're saying. My mind did not go there. And that's a fact. Okay? Why didn't you scream? Why didn't you? And now, because of even such a comment, it's like, now I can't be free to talk about this, even with people that I consider my friends.
True.
Okay? Because I feel you judge me. I feel like you question why I didn't do this, because you feel you would have done better.
they don't understand the situation.
Exactly. So that really, when we look at the ripple effects of these things we go through, when we talk about triggers, for me, in a relationship setting, like after that, I think, got into a relationship, maybe with your boyfriend, he's kissing you, trying to be romantic, ABCD, he got to the ear, yo.
Yeah.
The people who want to be, yo.
Flashback.
Instantly, I'm like, no, stop. No, but, stop. And the mood just
changes
instantly.
True.
You're just sitting, you're talking, somebody's just trying to be romantic. Oh, they, do not, up to now. Okay, that, I think, that's something that still takes me back. That's something that still...
I don't think he can completely
ever
like...
I think that's something that still takes me back, but it's something that I can handle better and differently than I did maybe the first few years after that whole situation happened, because then it was like, instantly I'm like jumpy, like, bruh, what are you trying to do? Stop. No, babe. Nah, man.
And you know, the thing is that even when you try to explain that particular situation to someone, they will not understand. They'll just be like, you're just tripping.
Yeah.
Just tripping, right? Just creating a story.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to really open up about these things.
True.
And I think it shouldn't be the case.
True.
It shouldn't be the case. Especially in African, or in let me speak this in the Zambian context. Quite divided about keeping up the good name of the family.
Yeah.
So if
You embarrass us.
you know,
Yeah.
so they don't know what you're going through. So you're having all those thoughts in your head, and you are failing to open up about it, because you know ultimately that's what they're going to tell you.
Yeah, pretty
like,
much. Yeah, so it's like,
Wakati
let me
mwenam.
keep to myself. I'll
You know?
try and handle it. I'll try and deal with it. And so I think triggers, when we look at the ripple effects, you talked about dissociation.
Yeah.
Flashbacks, the triggers, and I think even hypervigilance for me, till now, but like you're in an area, whether it's in the night or I'm highly aware of my surroundings because of that whole instance. It didn't happen because I was in a place, but just being extra aware of whoever is around me, who's doing what and stuff like that, yada yada. I think
I can relate to that, because I've also had like a gunpoint moment somewhere in Lusaka. In I think that was 2021 or 2022.
Yeah.
It was a different experience altogether, but I relate to
the
that.
gun.
Just being aware of
that's
your
something,
surroundings.
just like who's around.
Yeah.
And I think spiritually, whew, certain things we go through in life that will make you question God.
Exactly.
God, why?
Why? And that's
Why
the first
me?
question.
I
we
pray
always
to
ask.
you, I go to church. Why are you letting me go through this?
Yeah.
You understand? Why are you putting me in this position, in this situation? You know, I'm not one of your strong soldiers. Why? But I think spiritually as well, as I've been moving through life, I've lost both my parents. I lost my dad in 2006. I lost my mom in 2020 to cancer. And the why question still pops up and still comes up. But as I progress through life now, I think I'm looking at life in a different lens. It's like God will not give me situations I can't handle. God will not put me in a place that He knows I won't come out of victorious. I won't come out of stronger. And if you look at me now, through this episode, this is when people are going to know to say, okay, this person maybe doesn't have both her parents. Some people that don't know me like that. People think maybe I've got both my parents. People don't know maybe I've experienced this situation, and people will look at me in a different lens. But when they look at me outwardly without knowing all these things, people see a strong person.
True.
People see a strong
agree.
person. So eventually, out of certain situations, and we all have a choice rather, to make when we go through certain things. You either choose to make a good thing out of whatever has happened to you, or you choose to make a bad thing out of it. When I start sulking and you want people to feel sorry for you, and you want, I'm really sorry, but I'm going to, really sorry. This is not me trying to be shady, but I'm just going to, really, please. But Ivanka Bianca, when she uses that whole orphan thing, sometimes it gets to me, okay? Like, how many orphans do we have in the country? Today, you want to play the orphan game because you want people to come through for you, but then you don't put in the work. Like, you want people to come and help you and do ABC. How many orphans are there? A lot of us are orphans. I'm an orphan, but should I go on live and say, guys, A, B, C, D? Nah. I had to take a short break and just address that, man. Don't be playing the orphan card anyhow. Get up, do something with yourself. Yeah. Don't give people a reason to look at you and say, niba orphan baja. Nah. No, man. No. So spiritually, God doesn't give us situations we can't handle. In the moment, yes, it's like we're questioning. In the moment, you don't understand. In the moment, it's like okay. But afterwards, ultimately, there's certain things even now I will tell you I still don't understand.
Yeah.
There's certain things I'll still question, yes, but it's like there's a plan. Jeremiah 29 verse 11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you good hope and a future. I stand on that verse strongly.
And I will tell you this. It is very difficult to actually believe that when life just punches you left, right, center. It's, scripture, you read scripture that encourages you. You look at certain Bible characters that went through heavy situations. They prevailed, they overcame the situations. But it's very difficult to just, believe most of the time.
Yeah,
and
true.
If you have people that are not so good for your soul around, it becomes even more difficult.
It does.
If you don't really have spiritual people that can help you, even if they don't really know your situation, but just having those spiritual conversations, having spiritual conversations, it really helps.
Yeah,
it really
does.
helps because
It really
for
does.
me, I remember I became very rebellious. I stopped going to church.
Yeah, I think I did that for a bit as
I
well.
remember like for
In the
years,
questioning period, it's like
I was like, what's the
point? You're making me go through this,
you
man.
know.
Like, why?
I just stopped, became rebellious. Ku church kumwese for kwali youth group kwali no kufuala my uniform. I was like, me never.
Nah. And coming down to forgiveness as well. Knowing how you know you're a strong person when you go through something and you're able to forgive somebody that's not sorry.
Yeah.
When you're able to forgive somebody that will never come to your face and tell you, you know what, I apologize for what I put you through, what I did to you. I'm sorry for. And you're in a position of, you know what, I forgive whoever. I got to that point.
I was about to ask, like obviously
Yeah.
never had the opportunity to
I
ever
didn't
meet
even
that guy.
trust me, and I made it my business to not even try and look at this person directly.
Yeah.
So even if it happened, even if the next day they were to put 5 men in front of me and say, who
really
did this
tell.
to you, I wouldn't. It was
hear you.
dark.
I hear you.
He was black. That's why I know he was black. I think he was wearing black as well.
I'm imagining him with glasses.
That was wow. I hoped I could erase that off my memory, but it got to a point where now it's like, okay, that happened to me. It's a part of my life, my journey in this life, but it's not something that I'm going to let define me and define who I am and define what I do. Yeah, and I got to a point where now I'm like, I forgive that man. Whatever he was doing, maybe he wasn't in his right mind. If it's something that he did, I forgive him and I ask God to like show him the way, because Nah.
I
Okay,
know.
so I think we've talked about this sad stuff for a
Yeah.
very. Please, let's move forward. Okay, before anything, any advice you have for anybody that has gone through an ordeal that's similar to yours, or yeah,
Talking to someone. I think environments now are changing. Somehow we are evolving culturally. I think Zambians are starting to embrace the culture of people opening up, especially from a guy's
I mean, guys,
perspective.
especially yeah,
You know,
especially
where
that.
in this society where body to about more metafuida adida, more metafuida kosa. So, and for me that was one of the most difficult things, because everywhere you go you hear these terms, oh more metafuida adida kosa. So it became very difficult for me to talk to anyone, because I had to be the strong guy.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't think it should be that way, because you know sometimes, like for me at some point I thought I had forgotten about I thought I had gotten over everything,
Yeah.
you know, but kusasanga some years later, especially when I was in uni, I had a trigger that broke me.
Yeah.
You know, because I had never had the opportunity to talk to
about it
anyone
and let it
literally
out.
and just
Yeah.
pour it out.
Yeah.
So just find someone to talk to. I know it's difficult, because in this day and era, foot again, quite a favor, but you tell them something that is very sensitive.
You hear it.
Yeah, my
someone
social
else.
media, why never poster. Maybe tabakulumbure nation, but
Yeah.
so that also hurts. But
Find
I
somebody.
think just find someone that you can talk to, and if you are okay enough or free enough to talk about it publicly, then you can talk about
Yeah.
it publicly. But if you're not comfortable, just find someone that you can trust and talk to that person. I know you mentioned therapy earlier, and which is very foreign to
No,
an
but
average
it
Zambian.
does
I know,
help.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
and
I was
it
getting there.
works
If
for,
you are able to go for therapy,
Yeah,
please
do.
that. Go for therapy.
Yeah.
It could really help.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we should normalize creating a culture or an environment where people are free to talk about things that they are going through, and this thing of keeping up the name
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
family.
yeah,
I think
yeah.
a lot of people, some people, I think, have even committed suicide.
True.
Because of that.
Yeah.
You know, because chidem kadi perfect,
Yeah.
chidem diafe mukati.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I'm never. What's the point of living?
Yeah.
You know, and I don't think it should be the case
Yeah.
where you get to a point where you think of taking your
Yeah.
own life.
Yeah, true. I agree. And I think from my end, most everything that you've said, obviously everything
Yeah.
that you've said, and just to add on to any female person, you know, you're having this foreign person expose you to things you haven't exposed yourself to. It feels like somebody's taking something from you. You
I
know,
agree.
like I haven't given you the authority
Dignity.
to do what you're doing to me. Like why? You know, bruh, why? Okay, slap me or something.
It's better. I'm telling you, it's better someone slaps you. Actually,
I don't know,
Bako
but yeah,
lopola there,
to any
rather
female
than that.
person that has gone through this and is maybe, you know, thinking ill thoughts and thinking, men, like you said about what you thought about women. There's people that think like that, to say, okay, this has happened to me. And some people actually, I know, are unfortunate and maybe don't even encounter people that don't even protect themselves and just go in there and you end up
Yeah.
contracting some. I thank God he did what he did, okay? But you might be on the unfortunate end. It's still not the end of the world. Don't think evil thoughts, don't think bad thoughts. Like he said, find somebody, even just one person, close person you can talk to, a close
Yeah.
friend, close relative, somebody that is your trustee, you know, you can trust and won't take your business out there. Talk to them, unleash everything to them. Cry if you have to, cry if you must. It's okay to do so too.
True.
Talk to somebody, unleash everything you can, everything, remove it there to this person. Trust me, you'll feel a tad bit lighter. You may think it won't do anything, but it will help you here and there. So talk to somebody. And therapy, as you said, for some people, it's something they'll go for, and it's something that works and helps, you know. So if you can do therapy, but it's not the end of the world. I think the purpose of sitting down and talking about this and dissecting this and just letting people know is Not that you feel sorry for us. Do we look
Yeah.
like
No,
people that you
no.
can feel sorry for? No, of course we don't. Yeah. But my point is, this whole sit down was to make anybody that's out there that's gone through any of your experience or my experience, make them feel and make them understand that they're not alone.
Yeah.
They didn't go through this alone. They're not the only ones, and it's not the end of the world. And there's people out there that are ready to listen. If you want to talk, if there's anything else, if there's anybody that's like, yeah, you can hit my inbox up. Want to sit down and chat? Please, we can do that. So yeah, that was the purpose of all this. So yeah, away from the sappy stuff. We're past that. We've grown past it emotionally, mentally, and spiritually.
I
as
think
well.
one of the most important things though is to forgive yourself.
Forgive yourself.
Yeah. And
Forgive them as well.
Just forgiveness is the beginning, I think.
Yeah.
The moment that you just, I forgive myself, because we play the blame game sometimes, but certain situations, just forgive yourself and forgive the person. It really helps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, as we are approaching the closing, just briefly, Harry, as he didn't mention, he does music and whatnot. Like, what should people expect from you musically? Is there work you're putting out, and where can people find you on the socials?
Definitely music is coming through. I don't know when this episode will be up, but on the 24th of November I have a new single dropping. I don't know if I should say the title of the song depending on when. But anyway, the title of the song is Cool Off, and it features a wonderful brother of mine, Overdose. It's great vibes. It's a story, sad story, but with great vibes.
Okay, cool.
It's a mixture.
Cool.
And Harry HO3 on all platforms. Harry HO3 official. If you're doing the art, so at Harry HO3 official across Facebook, formerly Twitter, now X, TikTok, Instagram. And Harry HO3 on all digital streaming platforms: Spotify, Apple Music, Boomplay, the holy grail of Zambia.
So much talk about that, but please follow the guy. You've heard, follow him. He's got a beautiful voice. I'm sure you attest to that. I'm not saying that because he's my friend once more. So do that. All right. In closing, there's like a little. So this has just hit me to say, when we began this episode,
why you've changed the poster?
I know. I know.
Should I be scared?
So I initially was supposed to start because I knew we were about to get into. There wasn't going to be so much ice breaking to do it because this is somebody I'm familiar with, so we didn't deal with the icebreaker part. But the outro, the this or that, is something we'll dive into just to help us exit. All right. So this or that, Harry, single or taken?
Single.
What? I didn't get you.
Single.
Oh, okay. All right. Text or calling? What person are you? Are you text person or call person?
I'm both.
Which one do you lean on the most?
Calling.
Calling?
Yeah.
Okay. Cats or dogs?
Cats all day.
Bad haircut or bad dye job? What would you live with?
Bad haircut.
What?
Yeah.
They mess up and screw up your...
No, wait. No, let me think that lining is the most important thing for a guy.
So what if they grow... Exactly.
Bad dye. Yeah, thank you for that.
All right. Last one. Are you a glass half full or a glass half empty kind of guy?
What does that mean?
When
glass
you look at
full?
it's like a philosophy thing, right? Glass. When you look at this, will you say this is glass? Is this half empty or half? If it was midway, let's assume it's midway. Will you say it's half full or it's half empty? It's like if you say it's half full, you're an optimist.
Half full.
Okay.
Because you mentioned the optimist. I am an optimist.
I shouldn't have said that.
I am an optimist. A long time ago, I was a pessimist, but now optimist.
Okay, cool, nice. Thank you so much.
Thank you
for gracing my pod. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, and I hope to have you again.
Definitely.
On a lighter note and talk about lighter stuff. We've dealt with the hard stuff.
Yeah.
So, thank you so much, Harry.
Juice.
Thank you so much for gracing, for sparing time to sit down with me, and thanks to Cafe Wani once more. And please, new followers, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. That's what's going to help us keep growing and help us keep going on this journey together. So thank you to old, new, listeners, followers. I appreciate you all. Thank you to my production manager. Thank you to Maxi. Thank you to my production team, everybody. Thank you. I love you all. Peace. See you next week. Guy. Guy, what's good?
That was it.
What was it?
It wasn't.